Hello and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. As you might have noticed by the time, yes, I'm recording this right after the last one, but we're going to continue on. And today I'm going to discuss something a bit different, a bit of a happier topic, a bit off topic from just like vlogging about my life or whatever and talking about random things like that. But today I'm going to talk about Secret Hitler. Secret Hitler is a board game? Question mark? I say that kind of strangely because right now, as far as I'm aware, it only exists as a print and play version, and they're working on making an actual physical board game that you can buy. And essentially, the concept of the game, it's a secret role game where you're trying to figure out who's really on your side, who isn't on your side, that sort of thing. So it's kind of like Werewolf or Mafia in that way, where someone's the bad guy and someone else is trying to help them maybe, and you're all trying to figure out who's the bad guy and that sort of thing. So in that game, I'm just going to give you an example using 10 players because that's what we played with the whole time when I played it at Califur. Different numbers of players can change the rules and actions that happen and when they happen. Basically everything about the game is asymmetric, and depending on exactly how many players you have and whatnot, things change. So with 10 players, you have 3 fascists, 1 Hitler, and 6 liberals. Now, what does that actually mean? Essentially, the goal of the game, if you're a liberal, is to pass 5 liberal policies or kill Hitler. If you're a fascist or Hitler, then your goal is to pass 6 fascist policies or or pass 3 fascist policies and then get Hitler elected chancellor. And so the way the game works is that there's a president and a chancellor, and the president goes clockwise around the table, and the chancellor is selected by the president. And then what happens is every time a president and chancellor are selected, everyone around the table has to vote yes or no whether they think this president and this chancellor should be elected. If a majority votes yes, then they're elected. If not, then the president goes to the next person and they choose. And the game's all about trying to figure out who you can trust, whichever side you're on, and win the game for your side when there's not much true information to be had, because every aspect of the game is secretive in some way, pretty much. Almost every aspect of the game, there's a secret, there's information that only one person knows or only a few people know, and so you can't know whether they're lying to or not, so you can't just trust that someone's telling you the truth about something. You just can't do that. You have no way of knowing. Oh, I can't really see outside of this. Well, shit, I'm going anyhow. There wasn't a light here, was there? Fuck it. I'm going anyhow. Shit! God damn it, I just sunk a vehicle into the ground. That's how bad that was. Oh dear, did I damage my... No, I didn't. Okay, that's good at least. But, yeah. Whoops. So anyhow, the one key thing I forgot to mention is the fascists know who each other are at the beginning of the game. The liberals do not, and Hitler does not. The fascists also know who Hitler is. So if you're playing as Hitler, it's completely different from anyone else because you have no idea what's going on, but you gotta try and figure out who's trying to help you out and try to keep suspicion off of yourself. And sometimes, like, a fascist will do something to get people to quit paying attention to Hitler and focus on them. Like, they might obviously be fascist for 1 or 2 turns or something like that, just to draw attention away from the Hitler player. And so every turn, like I said, there's president and chancellor tried to be elected, and if you hold up, if people vote no enough times, then what will happen is there will be a whatchamacallit, it'll say that it's a hung parliament or whatever, and then a random policy will be selected. And this guy has no idea what he's doing. Yeah, a random policy will be selected. So the policies, there's a deck of policies. There's 6 liberal ones and like 9 fascist ones or something like that. So the deck is weighed in the favor of the fascist. However, there are a majority of liberals. However, the fascists know who all the fascists are. So it's this really interesting mix of, like, you know, different abilities. And I think the game is fairly well balanced, or a bit weighted towards the fascists. Like, the fascists have too much power. But then again, I was pretty damn good at it, so I don't know if it's just I was pretty damn good at it, or if it's actually not balanced properly. But ooh, it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. Also, I want to point out this. If you want to see someone playing it, I recommend looking up Total Biscuit. He did this thing where he did Secret Hitler Sundays, where every Sunday they'd get a group together and they'd play it on a live stream using a version of it that was made for Tabletop Simulator. And so that was a pretty cool way to watch it and figure it out. And basically that's kind of how I learned the game before I actually played it. And so I think I had a bit of an advantage there in that I knew what I was doing to a certain extent. There was one or two other players who had actually played it before, and only like 3 of us that actually knew about it before or had seen it be played. So it was an overall very inexperienced group when we started. Why am I putting on signals in here? I don't need to do that. Ooh, that caught an edge a little bit. But yeah, that was pretty much how things were. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, there's a deck of policies that will randomly... Ooh, dear. Oh, fuck. That sucks. There's a group of policies that would be randomly selected from if you hang Parliament and don't elect someone in time. Oops. Okay, come on. Back up just a little bit. There we go. Good enough. And, ah, yes, that is cool. Oh, synchronizing. Yes, okay. Cool. I've never done one of these before, so that's interesting. Okay, yeah, damage penalty. Oh, I did damage it a little bit then. Okay, I thought I hadn't. But gosh. What am I looking for? I don't remember what I'm looking for. Oh yes, I'm trying to get to Arizona. So, let's see if anything from here is going to Arizona. Actually, wait, I need to take things from Las Vegas. That one goes to Arizona, but it takes quite a while to get there, so I'm going to see if something goes a little bit more directly, because I want to hurry up and get to Arizona. There we go. That's something that goes pretty much immediately to Arizona, and my truck is still in reverse. That's okay. What was I going to say? What was I thinking? So yeah, there's the policies. Okay, I was going to explain the policies and how that works. So, the president draws 3 policy cards. Then they discard one and give the other 2 to the chancellor. The chancellor then discards one and then gives them, puts one, actually plays it. And so, first of all, then basically, like I said, there's more fascist policies than liberal policies, but assuming you have a liberal, then it should work out pretty well in their favor. The problem comes with the fact that just because someone plays a fascist card doesn't mean they're a fascist. They may have gotten screwed, and one of the players may be fascist and the other one liberal, and the fascist player screwed the liberal player. Also, sometimes it's advantageous for a liberal to play a fascist card, and I'll explain why in a moment. But in other words, the game has like almost no way for you to get any information, and any information that you can get, for the most part, is limited to an individual basis. So one person will know something, but no one else can truly know anything, because that person could be a fascist and could be lying, or they could be a liberal and be lying. Although in that game, there's really no reason to lie as a liberal. There's no advantage to be had there. But essentially, what can happen and why liberals playing fascist cards can be advantageous sometimes is fascist cards, when played, give the president powers, and these powers can be used to find out if someone's fascist, or kill someone who's fascist, or kill Hitler. You might have remembered earlier on I said that the objective of the game for the liberal can be to kill Hitler. And so the very first, oops, yes, it was a freight market job, and it was this, oh, it was the last one here then, okay. The loading area is right over there. Okay, yes. So the first power is that the president gets to, right then and once only, look at someone's not roll card, their, I forget what it's called. Roll cards are whether you're Hitler or not, essentially. And then there's another card that's whether you're liberal or fascist. Oh, your party card, I guess, like your party membership. Which side are you on? That sort of thing. And you're not gonna. Okay, that is gonna be close enough. I was gonna say, you're not gonna count that, because that would suck if it doesn't count that. All right. Well, in any case, the what was I saying? The blah 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 brain derp brain derp. So the first power is that the president can look at someone's their faction, which side they're on. Let me just go with that. And the only problem is that you don't know if the president's a fascist or a liberal necessarily, so they could be lying about it. They could say, oh yeah, they're clean, they're cool, they're a liberal, but they're fascist, and that person is fascist, and they're working together. Or it could be perfectly legitimate. You have no way of knowing. And then the other thing is, the second power is another of that same power. Again, the president can look at someone's role, so that can help out. But again, you can't know if someone's telling the truth or not necessarily. So it's you get partial information, and the game's all about trying to catch people slipping up when they're lying, or to catch people up when something they're saying makes no sense. So like, for instance, if 3 people in a row say that they got nothing but fascist cards, and so they were screwed by the deck by randomness, the only way to really, you don't necessarily know, they could be telling the truth, but it's very unlikely for that to happen unless a lot of liberal cards have been played. Then it's a lot more likely. But so it's all about trying to judge what people are saying with things they said in the past and catch people slipping up, or like policies or whatever. For instance, one time I was trying to help one of the we had people change out during the several games we played, so we'd try to introduce new people and help them figure out the rules as we went. And one of the times I was helping someone figure out the rules as we went, I accidentally said "we" when referencing fascists, and I was playing as a fascist. Fortunately, I caught myself I basically went, the fascists, I didn't even fully say the word "we," I just said "wh," and then immediately caught myself, and no one noticed, but I almost completely screwed myself right there just by saying, "we, the fascists," oops, and so the game's all about, if you're a fascist especially, it's all about misdirection, and if you're a liberal, it's all about trying to figure out who you can trust and everything, given very limited information and very much false information. And so it's this really interesting dynamic of trying to figure out what's what and all that sort of thing. And so yeah, there's okay, so I explained the first 2 powers. The third power, I'm trying to remember what it is, but I can't right now. The third power... Oh yes, the third power is to select the next president. So you can say, I want this person to be president next. And then after they're president, the order returns to clockwise where it would have been before then. Excuse me. Then the fourth power is a bullet. So you can kill someone. And so at this point, if the fascists are doing a good job, then maybe they've misdirected you to thinking a liberal is a fascist. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. Depends on the game. It varies a lot. And or you may have no idea, and then you have to kill someone, so maybe you end up killing the wrong person. Maybe you get lucky and kill the right person. Maybe the person playing Hitler is doing a really freaking terrible job and you get them right away. That actually happened, I'll explain. But it can vary a lot. And what's the word I'm looking for? So there's that, brain derp, come on, words. Then the fifth and final power, because after this power, the fascists would win if they passed another policy. The fifth power is... whatchamacallit? Yeah, we're on new roads now. Oh yeah, we're going to Arizona. Finally. Woo! fifth and final power is another bullet, but you also unlock the veto power. And the veto power is essentially one last chance for the Liberals, if they know who's who. Basically, you have... Okay, you know how I said, like, the president selects 3 cards, then the chancellor selects 2 from 2 of those that the president hands off? At this point, the chancellor, when they get the 2 cards, instead of having to pass one, they can say, I wish to veto. If the president then agrees with their decision and says, yes, we can veto, then they don't pass anything, and they draw another series of cards and try again. And so... Oh, I got an achievement for going over that. Okay. Or, achievement progress, not achievement. I have to drive over... Oh yeah, Arizona. I have to drive over 6 bridges like that one, apparently. And, oh yeah. This is cool. But, what was I saying? I'm trying to remember what I was saying. Ah, come on, words. Brain, think, derp. So yeah, the veto power, if the chancellor and president agree on it, then you can veto a vote and try again. But they have to agree on it. And that actually came up in one of our games and was how we, the fascists, won, because a veto came up, and one of the players in the veto, the president, was fascist. So of course the president said, nope, you have to play one of those, and they were both fascist. So we won. But, yeah, so that's pretty much all the rules of the game. Now to talk about what happened when we played. So, the first round that we played, I ended up being a fascist. I was not Hitler, but I was a fascist. And... sorry. So, I was a fascist, and I don't remember exactly how this happened, but you know how I said the first 2 powers, the first 2 presidential powers, are the ability to look at other people's, what side they're on, essentially? Somehow, like I said, I don't remember the exact details of how I managed this, but somehow I managed to convince everyone except for one person that 2 fascists and a liberal were all liberal. And so essentially the reason I convinced everyone that 2 fascists and a liberal are liberal is I fed off of the one legitimate liberal to say that all 3 of us were liberal, so that essentially that one liberal would go along with it, because he would be like, yeah, see, these guys are telling the truth about me, they know what they're talking about, so this is all good, you know, and kind of not question the fact that we could have just been lying and feeding off of them, which is exactly what we were doing. So like I said, there was one guy who kind of kept logical and was like, wait a second, we can't know anything right now, what are you guys doing, why are you listening to him, like, literally, there's no information here, we can't trust him, he could be lying, you know, blah blah blah, you know, they were being logical, but I managed to convince everyone else that, no, we're cool. Whoa dear, I oversteered that a bit. Whoa. How badly did I damage the truck? 8% now. Oh, that sucks. Damn it. Yeah. I think I'm trying to figure this out now, because I'm almost there, so I shouldn't end up damaging the trailer at all, unless I'm very unlucky. I think I'm gonna get a damage penalty, even though it's just my own truck that's damaged. I think the damage penalty is actually for any damage being sustained at all, rather than for specifically trailer damage. I think. I'm not sure, because the last one I just did, I don't think I got a damage penalty, but I didn't damage the trailer, so I think maybe that's the case. Anyhow, so after a few rounds had gone through, like I said, I got everyone except for one person to trust that myself and another fascist, as well as a liberal, were all liberal. And so things were going pretty well for us fascists at the time. Why is that off? There we go. But the person playing as Hitler didn't realize they needed to be, you know, chill and liberal and not seem like they're fucking Hitler. So the Hitler player, literally the 2 times that they went after that, they're like, yes, I got a choice of a fascist and a liberal policy, and I chose to play a fascist policy. Like, they were just being obviously fascist. So, what is with these guys? Like, they don't wanna go. What the hell? No, it's a red. I can't do that. I want to, but I can't. Yeah, so she was being really obviously Hitler. So when the first bullet came up, the guy who got the bullet was just like, yeah, her. She's been really fucking shady. And so she got shot immediately, and we lost. But otherwise, it was going really well. And like, so of course, immediately after it's over, you know, everyone kind of reveals their roles. And so I'm like, yeah, by the way, you know how you guys were thinking the three of us were cool? Yeah, he's actually cool. The other two of us are fascist. So, ha. The second game we played, this was, like I said, that was the first game we played. So everyone was like amazed that I'd convinced everyone that two fascists were liberal. So then the second game, they were suspicious as fuck of me because I had proven myself to be good at manipulation like that. And so immediately they're like, no, you were a fascist last time. I think you're lying. I think you're a fascist this time. And then I'm, of course, the second time I actually was a liberal, but that's beside the point. I'm, you know, telling them, like, hey, you know, you can't use past games to determine whether I'm good or not now. That's just not how it works. And, oh dear, oh dear. Fuck you. Okay? That's not my fault. It's not my fault. God damn it. I'm gonna lose all the monies. Alright. So yes. So yeah, they didn't trust me or anything because I'd proven myself to... Whoa. I almost did that badly. Okay. This is kind of an interesting place to get into. Okay. Yeah, it's the same kind of layout, it's just the placement of it is different from how I'd previously gotten to one of these, so it was a bit unusual for me. But excuse me. Alright. I always stop just a little too late. There we go. And all good. Yeah. So, let's see, do we get a damage penalty? No, we don't. So it has to be damage to the trailer. Okay. Now we've confirmed that. Okay, that does make more sense. Let's see if there's a external contract. Oh, excuse me. Well, this is local. I'm not doing that. This is also local. That's going back to Vegas. I don't want to do that. That's also going back to Vegas. I want to do stuff that gets me further into Arizona. Looks like there isn't. Oh, that's something. Alright. Let's go ahead and do this one.